these terrorist attacks. Can't help but notice how they keep going out of their way to talk about the Green Beret with the Cybertruck, right? He's a Green Beret, you know, he has the manifesto and he says he's want to wake up or wake it up or something to the effect. My real word. But they keep mentioning the fact that he's a Green Beret, and the cat that drove his car through the crowd, and also the Green Beret, the Green Beret, they were both military. But they keep trying to keep promoting one being military and then keep promoting the other for being a U.S. citizen. You see what I'm saying? They both U.S. citizens. They're both military. Why are we harping on one being a Green Beret and then the other one being a U.S. citizen? Let's just take a look.
About 8:40, when a 2024 Tesla Cybertruck pulled into the area, a valet of the Trump International Hotel. Very quickly thereafter that, the driver, who was the sole occupant of the truck, we saw what looked like maybe some sort of smoke, and then the truck exploded. The individual that was in that truck is obviously deceased, still in the truck as we speak here today. Our fire department folks, Engine 12, a number of others, you'll hear from one of the fire chiefs here in just a moment, arrived very quickly along with my officers. And obviously we knew that we had a much larger event than just a vehicle fire. The fact that this was a Cybertruck really limited the damage that occurred inside of the valet.
As a Tesla stockholder, thanks, Chief.
Because it had most of the blast go up through the truck and out. In fact, if you look on that video, you'll see that the front glass doors at the Trump Hotel were not even broken by that blast, which they were parked directly in front of. There is no further threat to the.
So needless to say, if you have a Tesla Cybertruck and you accidentally pull the pin in your grenade while in the car, you won't harm anybody else around you. Just all of you inside will be incinerated. That is a great selling tool. Lord.
Community, as I sit here today, and I just want to make sure that our community understands we believe this to be an isolated incident, and it is now over as far as the danger.
As of right now, our number one goal is to ensure that we have the proper identification of the subject involved in this incident. Following that, our second objective is to determine whether this was an act of terrorism or not. I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Let's see.
Winning is what we do.
Okay. Let me turn
Our clients choose the model.
I want to play this audio after this ad, of course. Time to wake up is what he's saying. Okay, let's hold on. Let me get this audio proper. Where's the audio from there? What is it like? What do I these things from here? That is weird. Why can't I get any audio? Okay. All right, well, that's really weird. You just heard the commercial play, but for some reason on their actual page, the local Las Vegas Fox 5, like me and my wife call it Foxy 5 News in Las Vegas. Anyway, I guess I'll just read the article. Time to wake up. Las Vegas police share notes from Cybertruck explosion suspect. This is by Justine Veresteeg. Let's see. Las Vegas police released excerpts written by the driver of the Cybertruck explosion days before the incident. The explosion happened the morning of New Year's Day in the valet area of Trump International Hotels, Las Vegas. For anybody who has not been to Las Vegas, if you're staying on the Strip and say you were facing the airport, the Trump Tower is the big gold building to your right. Let's see. The explosion. Okay. The driver died, and the explosion injured multiple others. Thursday, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the Clark County coroner identified the suspect as Matthew Livelsberger. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It says Sheriff Kevin McMahill provided an update Friday. I guess that's who you just heard from. Let's see. Yeah, that is who you just heard from. So I'm going to skip down a little bit. It says the coroner said it was a challenge to identify Livelsberger's body, or Livelsberger. I don't know how the hell you pronounce that dude's name. Matthew. His body was burnt beyond recognition. Fox learned he was an active duty soldier from Colorado Springs. So he's still active duty, while the other two, and these guys are, now they keep saying it's not coordinated. I don't understand how you get away from the coordination part, but whatever. There is no further threat. They can positively identify the suspect and that there are no other bad actors. Police continue to work on plans and motives for the explosion, but have shared some ideas to the public based off of a diary type of journal on one of his two phones found in the Cybertruck. Police are working to gain access into the other phone and one laptop found. They are getting hourly updates. Shared 2 full letters within the phones. Okay, I'm about to read one of the letters in his phone. Fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. Military and vets move on DC starting now. Militias facilitate and augment this activity. Military and vets move on DC starting now. Militias facilitate and augment this activity. Okay. Sounds like an insurrection coup. I guess that's looking to prevent Trump's inauguration. Deja vu. Who didn't see this coming? Going on to read, occupy every major road along Fed buildings and the campus of Fed buildings by the hundreds of thousands. Lock the highways down with semis right after everybody gets in. Hold until the purge is complete. Try peaceful means first, but be prepared to fight to get the Dems out of the federal government and military by any means necessary. They all must go, and a hard reset must occur for our country to avoid collapse. Okay, there's more, but I'm going to pause right there. We are hearing the "you won't replace us" type conversation. This is the energy. This is what the type of philosophy that a lot of these previous mass shooters and mass deleters have had. They've all subscribed to this type of ideology. Again, this is a societal indictment. And so he's radicalized. He hasn't yet put in, he's basically a nationalist. And when you say Dems, it's like, okay, see, you're blowing up the car in front of Trump's spot. But now here he is talking against Dems, and you want the Dems out. But you blowing up your car and smoking yourself in front of Trump. Does that say that they will still look at Trump as somewhat of a Democrat, and is this a MAGA split? Who knows? Goes on to say, we are the United States of America, the best country the best country people to ever exist. Hold on. We are the United States of America, the best country people to ever exist. But right now we are terminally ill and headed toward collapse. We are crumbling because the lack of self-respect, morals, and respect for others. Greed and gluttony has consumed us. The top 1% decided long ago that they weren't going to bring everyone else with them. You are cattle to them. We have strayed from family values and corrupted our minds, and I am a prime example of having it all, but never being enough. A lot of us are just sitting around waiting to die. No sunlight, no steps, no fresh air, no hope. Our children are addicted to screens by the age of 2. We are filling bodies with processed foods. Our population is too fat to join the military, yet we are facing a war with China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran before 2030. We must take these actions if we are going to make it past the next few years in one piece. We must end the war in Ukraine with negotiated settlement. It is the only way. Focus on strength and winning. Masculinity is good, and men must be leaders. The feminists ain't gonna like that one. Strength is a deterrent, and fear is the product. Weeded out those in our government and military who do not idealize number 2. The income equality in this country and cost of living is outrageous. The number of homeless on our streets is embarrassing and disgusting. Have some pride and take care of this. Stop obsessing over diversity. We are all diverse, and DEI is a cancer. Thankfully, we rejected the DEI candidate and will have a real president instead of a weekend at Bernie's. We must move on from the culture of weakness and self-enrichment perpetuated by our senior political and military leaders. We are done with the blatant corruption. Our soldiers are done fighting wars without end and states or clear objective. Now, he says, stop obsessing over adversity. And then he goes on into the, like, he's talking to greed. So he's putting these little, he's dropping nuggets along the way of what he's really trying to say. And so going back to what I was just talking about with Charleston White and Tommy Sotomayor, who interests do they serve? They serve this line of thinking's interests. Why? Because they know we're not. See, if we can affect the Democrats, we can also affect the Republicans. That 90 million sitting out there is a beast, and they understand that. Literally, we're the little engine that could. And ain't nobody breaking bread over here. So, except for the grassroots itself, supporting the grassroots, period. That's it. Goes on to read, this was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I needed to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. Consider this last sunset of 24 and my actions the end of our sickness and a chapter of health for our people. Rally around Trump, Musk, Kennedy, and ride this wave to the highest hegemony for all Americans. We are second to no one. Wow. Now, with all of that, they keep going out of their way to talk about how he's a Green Beret. Nobody care about him being a Green Beret. And if you've noticed, all the pictures of him are him smiling. Have y'all noticed that? They keep trying to show you like here's him and a woman. See, they're having a good time together. See, they always do that. No, this dude, oh, it wasn't, yeah, it's a terrorist act. You could identify it as you want to, but yeah, that's what that is. Because you wanted to cause an act of destruction and harm to get people's attention. And he most definitely did that by way of blowing himself up in front of the Trump Tower. So moving on to the other person, and again, what's going on with the American military producing these vigilantes? But this got a different little feel to it.
Well, Louisiana News at 6 begins with breaking news.
And there is more to the hadith, but that is enough to mention to understand that music is the voice of Satan.
Those foreboding words of Shamsuddin Jabbar in early 2024, just 11 months before the FBI says the U.S. Army veteran unleashed an act of terror on Bourbon Street. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Katie Moore.
I'm Sharice Gibson as we continue to cover this devastating tragedy to our community. A short time ago, we learned more names of those 14 victims killed. We'll have those in a moment. We also know that President Biden and the First Lady will visit the city Monday to grieve with family members and meet with officials.
Yeah, meanwhile, we are continuing to learn more about what the FBI calls the radicalization of the suspect. WWL Chief Investigative Reporter David.
The way that they're talking about this guy, why am I not hearing about his military record and all of his military connections and whatnot? He's just a straight up suspect.
Hammer reviewed audio recordings Jabbar posted less than a year ago, showing his views had really grown more extreme.
First and foremost,
FBI Deputy Assistant Director Christopher Reyes says they're trying to understand how U.S. Army veteran Shamsuddin Jabbar became radicalized.
That's the stuff in the coming days as far as that path to radicalization that we're really going to be digging into and making a priority.
A new piece of key evidence for their investigation, audio recordings Jabbar posted on SoundCloud in early 2024. Here he calls popular music Satan's voice.
And we see what this gradually drives a person to. It is a gentle, gradual luring into the things that God has made forbidden to us. The intoxicants, like marijuana, alcohol, sedatives, opioids, stimulants, and others. Then there's the way that music entices us to illicit sex, vulgarity, violence, betrayal, arrogance, burglary, cheating, ingratitude to our spouses or others in general.
I wouldn't call that view extreme. I most definitely call his actions extreme. But that particular view, no. And it's interesting that that's where they went with it. Because to sit up here and start talking about the devil being in the music and act like that's some kind of extreme conversation when you guys literally had Lil Nas X twerking his Bucci cat on Satan in a video a few years ago. Yeah, that's pretty legit. Actually, with all the devil imagery that's going on in the music and these videos and these award shows, yeah, American music is absolutely full of Satan. Or would it not be with a bunch of some of them, open admitted Satan worshipers? I mean, good grief. So, yeah, that's not necessarily extreme. Can't help but notice the one dude who was like the Christian guy in the football game the other day against Ohio against Oregon. The one dude who professed his faith, and then they physically kept him off of the stage at the Rose Bowl. So, for those of you who are fans of the Bible, you guys might want to find a safe place to put you one, because they have been low key attacking. And I can't say the church. They're not attacking the church. They're using the church to attack the Bible. So, and the real true believers out there, I hope y'all, understand that these folks are not looking for your religious freedom. The religious freedom that they have been pushing is open Satan worship. That's why you see all of these Baphomet things and they have to erect these, go here and there. That's what's going on. I'm saying, like your boy from Minnesota, there's another reason, and they want to ignore that. There's another reason why Kamala Harris couldn't go nowhere with that guy, Tim Walz. Tim Walz is one of those guys that lets them folks have their little Baphomet clubs and their statues and Satan Day. I don't think all the cat, and then you turn around, snub the Muslims, and you snub the Christians, and you snub the Catholics. There's another reason why she didn't win. It wasn't because we didn't want to see a woman in a place, a woman of color. Stop it.
Partners at The Guardian first reported on the recordings Thursday.
So seek refuge in God from Satan by accepting his religion.
The Council on American Islamic Relations released a statement saying such extremist teachings have been rejected by the overwhelming majority of the Muslim world.
What he said was not extremist, and what he said is not rejected amongst the Muslim world, because what he did, yes, is, but don't conflate what he said in these things that you played. See, that's how they play it. So maybe there's other videos where he's talking about we got to destroy the infidel and all of that. Maybe he's doing that. And so, yes, but in these videos that they are playing, these audio sounds are strictly just simply talking about living right and avoiding things of the dark spiritual nature. And they're calling that extreme. To say avoid the music? I'm confused. How did you relate what he's saying here to, number one, being extreme, and then number two, this would be the reason that he would go drive his truck through a crowd? That doesn't make any sense.
But Jabbar criticizes Muslims for listening to hip-hop and other Western music.
The sounds of paradise will be more appealing and desirable than the music here, and the obedient will have whatever they desire.
Again, the sounds of paradise would be better. So again, he's saying to be with his power in paradise is better than deal with these people and leave these people to their sin. There's nothing extreme here. This is there's almost a scriptures to it in the Bible. And what he's saying right now, like, number one, it's funny that you guys are not mentioning that these are actual, he's reading the Quran. So you're acting like this is his view. No, this is from the Quran. So for those who know, like, no, this is literally just reading from, this is weird for me. Why are they going away from saying this is the Quran, and then they're just like making it seem as if his words are his own, and they're not. I haven't heard a personal, well, except for when he's talking about the music and he related it, but then what he's doing is telling you about something, and then he's giving you the scriptural reference or the Quran. I'm not sure how you would say Quranic, or the reference in the Quran to where what he's talking about is. He ain't doing nothing but what most preachers do every Sunday.
And when you look at the state of affairs of the Muslims, isn't it clear that we have fallen right into the traps that the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, warned us about, and are in the same predicaments?
In another recording, Jabbar questions those he calls disbelievers.
Then in his eloquent and reflective style, Allah poses the question to any who disbelieve by saying, so what causes you to deny the recompense, meaning the day of judgment? So why do the people deny he will bring them back for judgment?
And 11 months later,
that's absolutely the Quran. It's not an opinion. He's just reading the scripture to you from the Quran. Yeah, okay. And no talk of his military service, by the way. He's also military.
The FBI says he posted a series of 5 videos right before his attack on New Year's revelers.
In the first video, Jabbar explains he originally planned to harm his family and friends, but was concerned the news headlines would not focus on the, quote, war between the believers and the disbelievers.
Not only do Muslim groups reject these extremist beliefs, but the local Muslim community is taking extra security precautions since the attack out of fear of an unfair backlash.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe it's me. There was another person in Virginia that recently got caught with explosives. And now this other thing happens, and then the other guy, oh, well, they're unrelated. Are they? Okay, let me just say, if you were looking to create, I guess, a sleeper agent or sleeper cell, especially a sleeper cell, it seems that in this day and age, you would need to make sure to cover all of your bases. So in your programming for this person or another person, it's not going to be the same programming because you need them entrenched in different areas. So the same outcome still gets there though. So you still are pushing radicalization, but with the different subset and main objective of, say, so you go Islam. Programming, we need you to be here programmed on this. But we also need the white nationals programming you on this. Okay. We've heard of the MK Ultra type stuff before. One's a Green Beret and the other one's military intelligence and in tech. And we're not supposed to bat an eye at this? Oh, well, it's definitely not connected. They go rent cars from the same place. They both drive to different states to commit what they were going to do. And they say that their time overlaps. Any Kung Fu movie fans in the house? I know of a movie from my childhood that a lot of the people of my age and even others older and younger have known to come in love if you like Kung Fu movies. And the premise of this starts with the fact that a teacher is talking to his new pupil. And he needs him to find his students. However, not all of his students were there at the same time, and they kept their identities hidden. And so, knowing that some of the students knew each other, one of the students didn't know any of them, and then one of the two other students, they knew each other, but none of them were there at the same time. But they all developed certain skills from this one source. Act together, put them all together, and then you create the 5 deadly venoms. There were at least 2 prevented attacks and 1 questionable shooting that all took place around New Year's. And they're saying none of these things were connected. Okay. Yeah, sure. None of these, the prevented attacks and the actual attacks that happened, sure, none of them are connected. Do y'all believe that? I gotta wonder, should I believe that? Should we believe that, family? Me neither.